Here's the fascinating thing. The Relief Society is started. It's begun because of some righteous desires of some women who come up with an idea. So initially, it's in the spring of 1842 when Sarah Granger Kimball and her seamstress, Margaret Cook, they got talking about their idea of sewing clothing for workers constructing the temple there in Nauvoo. And Sarah Granger Kimball is fairly well off. She's fairly wealthy in comparison to other people in Nauvoo. Her husband is not a member of the church, but is sympathetic to her living her religion. And she wants to do something grand. And she wants to contribute. So she talks to her seamstress, Margaret Cook, and they come up with this idea. And then they say, well, wait, we've got all these other ladies in Nauvoo who could help us with this effort. I love the fact that they then go and petition these other women to join them in this effort. And they ended up writing a constitution and bylaws for their organization. And they submit it. They submit their constitution, their written bylaws, done just by these women in Nauvoo. They give it to Joseph Smith to review it. So Joseph looks at their documents and he says, quote, "They are the best he had ever seen." But he said, "This is not what you want. Tell the sisters their offering is accepted of the Lord, and he has something better for them than a written constitution. I will organize the women after a pattern of the priesthood." That's interesting. He says, you've done a really, really wonderful thing here, but I'm going to organize you in a beautiful pattern. So it's now March 17th, 1842, when they gather in an upper room of Joseph Smith's red brick store there in Nauvoo, and there are 20 women that are present, as well as some men, and the Relief Society is born that day, March 17th, 1842, with Emma Smith put in as the first president of the Relief Society. She presides in that organization, and there's great power there. And there was, in that first set of interactions, there's a great debate among the women about what they should be called. And most of them wanted a certain name, but it was Emma who said she loved the word relief and what it entailed and what it embodied and what she wanted this group to be able to do, to bring relief to those who were struggling. And so she prevailed with the group, and they voted and decided they would call it the Relief Society. Now, that organization was disbanded a short time after the death of Joseph Smith in 1844, and then it was reorganized in 1867. So there are a couple of decades there where the Relief Society isn't functioning, but then it restarts in Utah. And today is, I believe, considered to be the longest running and largest women's organization in the world. And the errand of angels is given to the Relief Society. And it is incalculable the amount of good that is done in helping bring relief to the sick, the afflicted, the downtrodden, the homeless, the fatherless, those in prison, everything. This was one of the most amazing revelations that we get in the dispensation of the fullness of times, and yet nothing's canonized. So just because it's not in the Doctrine and Covenants, don't skip over it. This is a significant revelation and a significant event.